Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. It's that time of year again. It's time to start moaning about the weather. The heat is horrific. It's been a really tough couple of days and you're probably going to hear me complaining about it quite a bit, but I'm going to try to persevere and take breaks when it gets too hot. But it's impossible to avoid, and yeah, it's been tough. It's been a tough few days of work. My guests have left, so you're back to just me and occasional visits to Sinead, so hopefully that's okay. It's always exciting when people visit, and when my parents are here, it's always wonderful as well. But it's just me. However, I have been pushing on with a couple of building projects. One that I started ages ago, and it's long overdue for completion, and another one that's completely brand new, and I get started on that a little bit in this video as well. So I hope you enjoy this one. I'm getting going on some new projects, and I think it's the beginning of me catching up on a lot of little things as well and trying to do it all while fighting the heat. So I'll just get into the video. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you again at the end. Good morning. I've been rooting around in Sinead's pile of pine, trying to find some flat pieces that are flat both on the bottom and the top, because my next project is going to be trying to make some shelves for inside the Tully Tower. And my dad gave me a really good idea relating to jars and how to store screws, so I'm looking for pieces that are going to help me with that. But before I get onto that project, I also want to get set up to start pointing the top of the house. Now that the space is cleared, I might as well get the scaffolding in there, finish this job up, and check it off my list. I still have other pointing to do around the other sides of the house, but if I can get this one done, I'll be very happy. So I've got some scaffolding to move, some lime to mix up, and yeah, lots to do this morning before it gets really hot, because I think today is going to be 40 degrees, and that's not cool. I don't want to be working too late today as it starts to get hot and as the sun starts to come over the top of the house. So I've got some fun projects ahead of me. I'm looking forward to organizing the Tully Tower, getting things stored in there. But first, let's get the scaffolding set up. Okay, the scaffolding is up. It's always an adventure when you have to put it up alone, but it went mostly to plan, and now I'm gonna mix up the lime that's been sitting in this bucket for months and months and months. I'm so excited to get rid of the thing. But as you can see, the blade for this paddle drill is completely snookered, but it does the trick sort of, and we've ordered a new one. So I'll do my best, try to get this mixed up, try to get everything ready and prepared for tomorrow, and then once I get that done, we'll start on the shelves. So this is looking good, maybe a little wet. I'll take some out and put it in the tray so it has a chance to dry for tomorrow, but I actually think I'm gonna top this up with some more mix. So I'm gonna get some fine sand and some lime. Got some lime over here in the bucket. This is my last batch of lime actually, so I'm gonna need to get some more on the go. Not so much left in there. And what that means is if I have a big mix, maybe, just maybe, I can finish all the pointing in one go without having to do another batch. And that just means that the color will be consistent, and that's always better. So let me mix this up, top it up, and then I'll be prepared for pointing tomorrow morning. Okay, I've topped it up, and this mix actually looks just about right. So I was gonna decant some into the smaller tub to let it dry out a bit, but I think I'll just leave it here, cover it up from the sunlight, and use it either later today or tomorrow. And I also have this other mix of lime, which is going to be used to pack the interior of the wall. And yeah, everything's ready to go. So I'm looking forward to starting that up very soon. But before I do, I've got a selection of shabby looking pine. I'm going to see what I can scavenge from this, because I'm gonna make some small shelves for in here. And thanks to a really good idea from my dad, they're gonna be shelves with a little bit of a slight twist. And I'm looking forward to getting it all set up. So I'm not going for precision carpentry on this. This room is definitely function over style, but I do want to sand off all of the splintery bits and just make it nicer to work with. But one annoying thing is the sanding pad doesn't really stick as well as it used to, so I've ordered a new one of these. It's on the way along with the paddle drill replacement thing. So I'll struggle through as best I can, but if the sanding pad goes flying, that's why. So I was just sanding and I looked over yonder and found this piece of wood. It's currently covering my filters because I don't want the sun to get on them, but I do need a much better solution than this. And as it turns out, it's gonna be the perfect size for what I need. So that means I don't have to mess around with all that horrible pine. I can just chop a few slices off of this. And if it doesn't give me all the shelves I need, I think it'll give me most of them. Okay, it's all marked up and ready to saw. And unfortunately, I've got to use this big guy. It's 2 batteries, it's a monster. It's definitely overkill for what I need. But Sinead and I share tools, and that's wonderful. However, sometimes we need the same tool at the same time. So she's got the little saw to work on her toilet, and I'm gonna use this ridiculously huge saw to cut through a fairly small piece of board. Well, that definitely made quick work of the board. So we've got shelf number 1. I should probably actually measure this one. I forgot to mark it. That's better. Okay, so I have 5 shelves. I probably will need more, but this gives me enough to get started. They're not massively sexy, but they don't need to be. So I'm gonna sand the edges up, get a few other things prepared, and you'll see me soon for shelf installation. So I've sanded the edges of the board, and I've actually miscounted. I have 6 shelves, not 5. So I've made some shelf supports. We're gonna stain those up very soon, but first I've got 2 more supports to make, so we'll do that together using the Japanese saw because the big, huge circular saw is definitely overkill for this little job. Easy peasy. This is obviously a really rusty and crappy and probably very dull blade, but surprisingly it still does the trick, which is amazing since it looks like it's in very rough shape. But I love these saws, and yeah, it made very light work of this. So next thing is going to be getting the gloves on and doing some staining. Okay, that'll do. I'm definitely going for the rustic look, and the only real reason I'm painting is it just so it matches with the rest of the Tully Tower, but definitely doesn't have to be perfect. So, first piece stained, on to the next ones. Okay, all done. I'm gonna let these dry, which shouldn't take too long, but happily, Sinead has returned with the power tools. She's got a language class tonight, so I can have them back. And I'm gonna be working on these. Because the really good idea that my dad gave me was to screw these on to the bottom of the shelves, so they're not actually even shelves. They're more supports for then screwing jars in, so I can fill these with screws and nails and all those little things that just get everywhere, get really disorganized, and I can see exactly what they are through the jar. I'll have various sizes of jars, some little small ones possibly for drill bits, larger ones for screws and nails that I use a lot, and then you just stick them in, screw them on, and everything is nicely organized. So I've got a whole bag of old lids here that I've used previously for canning stuff. I can get 5 on per shelf for jars this size. And the first thing I need to do is drill some holes. I think 2 per lid should do the trick. Oops. So I've got, I think 35 lids to get through. I've got 6 shelves. I'm also going to use a piece of wood at the top in there to put jars onto. So I've got some work ahead of me. It's going to be nice and chilled out though, which is good. Because it's extremely hot today. So I'm going to keep working through these lids, drilling some holes. It shouldn't take too long. And then I'm going to take a break because it's really hot, have a late lunch. And then tonight, I'm actually going to a salsa class in a nearby village. Sinead is super into salsa dancing. I've tried it once before a few weeks ago, and this will be my second attempt at it. So it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I do like trying new things, and it is a lot of fun. And then I'll be back at it tomorrow morning working on the shelves, and then hopefully I'll be able to also get a start on the pointing as well. So I'll see you then. What the heck? It's a new morning and it's actually raining. You can feel it a little bit. You can hear it very slightly in the polytunnel. It's super light. I don't think it's going to last, unfortunately. It'd be wonderful if we got a downpour. But it's lovely and cool out here, and that's just a really surprising thing to wake up to. So I haven't had my coffee or breakfast or anything, but I just wanted to come out and share the weird weather. Of course, it means if it gets harder, I'll have to pack away all my work, but I think the first thing I'm going to do this morning, after I get coffee in my face, will be to hop up here and get to work on the pointing because it is lovely and cool, and I want to do it before the sun starts shining from this direction in late afternoon. So I'm gonna go have some breakfast, but what a interesting surprise. So working up here is gonna present some challenges. First off, I'm in a race against the sun peeking over. Secondly, I'm wrestling for space with the fig tree up here. I don't wanna have to cut it, so I'll try to work around it. Third, it's gonna be really hard to film because I'm up high and I really don't want to drop my camera down there. And I guess those are my main reasons that it's gonna be tricky. What the heck is this? I don't even know what that is. Might be some spray foam just to fill in some cracks. I could also use this as an opportunity to clean out my flue this year. I didn't do it last year, I didn't need to. And it's pretty tight squeeze up here and quite difficult to film. So I'm gonna just film sections. We're gonna start by chipping out some of the stones. I've done the other side already, just to make space for the pointing. And then repacking any spots that have big gaps. So first step, hammer and chisel, and then we'll get to the pointing after that. So I've got two different chisels. I've got two different hammers. One is a regular hammer and one is this lump hammer. I don't know which is best. I generally alternate between them. So I'm actually in amongst the fig tree. You can't see that. It's rubbing against the camera. It's making everything extremely sketchy, but this is the idea. I'm basically trying to make space. Come on. I'm trying to make space to be able to get in with the pointing trowel and fill the cracks with the lime. And it's just a matter of chipping out the dirt and also all the small stones that are sort of obstructing that. For any large gaps, I'll come back and repack them with small stones and then point around those. So I have a lot of work ahead of me, and if you could see me right now, you'll see that I'm in a very uncomfortable position in amongst the fig tree. So the camera's gonna go away while I just power through this. This could end up taking maybe 2 or 3 hours just to get it all done. I'd love to get everything finished. And then I can work on, move on to the next stage after that, which will be filling any large cracks with the one kind of lime and then going back and pointing. The pointing is the fun part. This part is very tedious, but it is essential if you want a well-pointed wall. And sometimes you even have to slice off pieces of the rock itself. And sometimes it makes sense to come with the angle grinder and actually just buzz space. It's a lot faster, it doesn't look as good, but yeah, there's just lots of parts to pointing. And this is definitely not my favorite part. So this is what it looks like now. I'm very, very close to the wall, so it's difficult to show you. I'm very, very close to the fig tree. Hello, fig tree. Oh, it is actually nice to see some figs on the way. It's looking like she's healthy, but she's crowding me. So I might have to prune a little bit of her just to make some space for myself because this is quite ridiculous. And yeah, I'm gonna do my best, and I'll see you soon when I'm ready to pack the wall. So I've been powering on ahead with the wall, and something weird that just happened was another small rainfall, a little heavier than this morning. It was lovely and refreshing, but it stopped now. But yeah, it's been a funny day. So one thing I failed to consider is how heavy these two things are, and I've mostly been using the hammer and this chisel as opposed to these lighter ones. This little one is really good for just scraping out the dirt. But as far as actually bashing the rocks apart, you need the heavy one. And when you're using it for a long time, it actually does get a little painful. It's sore on the old arms. So earlier, I said that this could be spray foam. I meant to say rock wool, so I probably just jammed this stuff in here when I was fitting my pipe a few years ago. I had to take this whole section of wall out and make space for it, and I must have just stuck it in because there's probably still big holes back there. So I'm gonna claw this away. And then besides this bit, I've mostly made space. I do need to go back and maybe get rid of some dirt, and then I need to spray it all with the water bottle. Up here, I'm not really sure what to do. This is really hard to chip through, and so I've kind of been struggling. I want to remove it all and eventually repack it with stones, but for the moment I think I need a bigger tool, or I need to rest my arms a little bit before I tackle that because I'm tired. So things are progressing nicely. This is weirdly satisfying, pulling this stuff out. Yeah, I don't even remember doing this. So yes, I'm just working away, getting rid of the dusty bits. I'll spray it with water, and then after that I think I'll probably take a break and then get back to working on the shelves. So that's my update from up here amongst the fig tree. One thing I just realized is how itchy this stuff is. I just got it somehow on my armpit, and now it's crazy itchy and really annoying. But still, it is quite satisfying to remove it. So yeah, that's the update. I'm gonna keep plugging away at this for the next little while, and then we'll be back doing the shelf very soon. So I'm not sure why I only did 10 of these when I have 6 shelves and I need 12, but there you go, who knows. So Sinead is also using the drill, so I figured I might as well just pre-drill these now. And then at least it's done if she comes looking for the drill, and I can use the screwdriver or the impact driver instead. And then for these ones, where is the marker that I did? The attachment area is a little shorter, so the drill holes are in a different spot. Which will hopefully make sense once we go into the Tully Tower and you see what I'm up to. All right. Whoops. Done. And so won't you come with me into the Tully Tower and you'll see what I'm up to. So on one side, these shelf holders will be attached spanning the full distance. Light on. And on this side, it's a shorter piece. I could saw them off. I think I probably won't bother doing that. We'll see how it goes. So that's why the drill holes are in different spots. And you'll also see that I've attached one of the jars up here. So I'll have 2 more lids there, 2 more lids there, and I'll do the large jars here, and probably large jars here as well for the screws and the nails that I use a lot. So the idea is you just take it off and on. And I suppose I could just have made shelves and put the jars on the shelves, but this just means I'm never going to lose the lids. I can always just see them there. They're not going to move around. I'll always know when I'm missing the jar, because it'll be an empty lid with no jar in it. And hopefully this system will help me stay organized, because staying organized is probably one of my biggest challenges, and I feel like nails and screws all over the place, never knowing where they are, never knowing where your bits are, all that stuff is one of the most frustrating parts about building. And if I can finally get some systems in place to keep myself organized and not messy, it's going to make a massive difference. And if I were more organized, I would know that I'm almost out of little screws, and these are the ones that I need to be able to attach the lids to the bottoms of the shelf. So I think I have enough to get one shelf done. Let's do that, and then after that, I'm going to have to wait until I can make a trip to the hardware store, possibly tomorrow. So I've had a bit of a break. We've had some lunch. Sinead and I are both absolutely dying. It is hot.
Hot, hot, hot.
What are your thoughts on this weather?
To be honest with you, it could be hotter.
It could be hotter. It could be hotter.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
So I think it's actually quite bearable, but it's heavy.
It's heavy, it's humid, it is not correct.
But we're grateful we had some drops of rain.
We had some drops of rain, yeah, and there's cloud cover, which is always nice.
Yeah.
So while Sinead is here, I'm going to get her to help me by passing some buckets up, because I'm going to need to splash the dirt out of the wall up there. So I've got a bucket up here, I've got a little yogurt pot, and basically I'm gonna go at the wall with a whole bunch of water to wash all the dust and dirt out of the cracks. Are you ready?
Yes, let's do it.
So this one is going on the wall, and then we'll fill it up again, and that should do the trick. It's refreshing. Could you pass me up the other one?
Yes, I can.
Thanks very much. Ugh. Okay, you get the idea. I'm throwing water at a wall. I guess I'll do a couple more buckets, get this all cleared out. And yeah. So job done. The wall is now clean and ready for pointing. I feel refreshed. It was pretty splashy, but in a good way because, as I mentioned, it's very humid out here. And yeah, it's kind of sucking the life out of me to the point where I think I'm gonna go have a nap, chill out for about an hour, and then get back to work on the shelves after that, and then the pointing I'll start up tomorrow morning. So I'll see you soon. I'm just gonna have a snooze and come back at this, hopefully energized. Okay guys, I've taken a break, I've had a nap, and this is where I'm at, and it's not pretty. Not pretty at all. I'm trying to sort through things, put stuff into jars. But if I'm honest with you, today is definitely one of those days where I'm slowly losing the will to live. The heat is oppressive. And when I'm in this sort of mood, filming and working at the same time doesn't really work. So I have actually put up one of the shelves, and I'm just pressing on organizing stuff. And I'm gonna head to town tomorrow and get the screws that I need, and then we'll finish up the shelves together tomorrow afternoon, hopefully. So this is what I'm up to. It's disastrous. It's probably not entertaining viewing, me sorting through screws, but I do feel like I'm regaining the will to live because I'm making some progress and organizing my life and getting rid of lots of trash that's just found its way into the buckets, and finally sorting through my screws and nails and everything like that. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, but when this is done, it's gonna be worth it. So I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow, and we'll finish the shelves together, and hopefully I can get everything organized then. And hopefully it's not gonna be quite as hot tomorrow. All right, I'm back. It's a new day, and I'm ready for a very full day of pointing. Even if the sun comes over the house while I'm working, I'm still gonna persevere because I would love to get this done today. But I have decided that perhaps this fig tree is a little bit in my way. Actually, it's a lot in my way. So I'm just gonna lop off a small amount so I don't have to, I don't know, be working in treacherous conditions, because it's kind of unsafe having to dance around a tree while you work. And I think just lopping off a few branches will make all the difference. Plus, these trees are incredibly resilient and will grow back without any problems. So I'm not worried about the tree. I'm more worried about myself, and it is a shame not to have these lovely figs to eat, but safety first. So the fig tree's got to go, and I'm gonna get working on this wall. Yesterday was brutal. It was a 3-nap day. I just could not get myself together. The heat was oppressive. It was super humid. But this morning I was up early. I did some tidying around the place, and I went out to a yoga class in a lovely air-conditioned room. So I'm feeling energetic, ready to go. I've got my spray bottle up here. I've got my pointing materials down there, and I'm just gonna tackle this wall, starting from this side, working left to right, and I'll see how far I can get. What's that, Larry? Somebody's being very noisy this morning. Could be because he wants to get inside, but I'm using his cat ramp as my workbench. But I've got lots to do, so if you want to go in the house, Larry, you'll just have to come up and I'll have to make some space for you. The cats are suffering at the moment. I've barely seen Mikey. He just kind of hides in shadowy spots in the garden. Larry's a bit more present, but they're definitely struggling with the heat as much or possibly more than I am. So we've got a lot to do. Let's go. So I love pointing. It's like meditation to me. I really enjoy it, but as you can see, it's very slow going. So I'll check in periodically as I complete the work. I'm just gonna stick a podcast on or an audiobook, get into the zone, and enjoy the day as much as I can before it starts to get crazy, crazy hot. But even when it gets hot, I think I'll just push through the pain because I'd really love to get this done so I can get rid of the scaffolding and start using the really great space below me, move the workbench, and yeah, just spread out a bit. And then I'll get back to work on the shelves probably tomorrow. I have some ideas. It actually was in my dreams last night. I was dreaming about various configurations of shelves, different kinds of jars I could use. It was a very unentertaining dream, but I actually did get some ideas, weirdly. So I'm just gonna hang out up here for a little while, and I'll see you again soon. So I've been going at this for probably about 2 hours now, and I'm maybe about a quarter of the way through. So it's really, really slow going, but because the weather is so crazy hot, it's drying really quickly. So I think I might be ready for the wacky brush stage, and that basically, maybe it's too soft. You know what, let's try it. So the wacky brush, for anyone who watches my videos a lot, you've seen this plenty of times before, but for anyone who's new, I use this brush, definitely not an actual pointing related tool. I think it's for cleaning cars or something, but basically it works to whack the wall and push the lime into the cracks, and it also takes the lime off the edges as well. So you'll see you've got some little bits here that are kind of along the rocks. When you whack it with this brush, they push in and they fly off, and just makes everything look way better. I don't know if this is something that everyone does, but it's how I learned. And not only is it very satisfying to whack a wall with a giant brush, I can actually really see the difference as well. So this might be a little wet, but I'm just going to do it anyway because I want to get on with doing more pointing. I have a lot of work ahead of me still, and if I can just get this done and out of the way, I won't risk it getting too hard while I'm doing something else, which just happens a lot and is kind of frustrating. And so then once I whack it with a wacky brush, I take a paintbrush, wet it, and this is probably my favorite part. Just go over everything that was pointed and whacked into the the cracks and just smooth it all out and make it look beautiful. So this is my process. I love it, but I've got a lot of work to do. So goodbye camera. I'll check in again fairly soon, hopefully with a much more complete wall. So I've got a whole bunch more wacky brushing to do before I can finish for the day, and then I've got to go over it with the regular brush, but I do like it, so it's fine. However, I did take a pretty big break in the afternoon today when it got too hot. It's about 5 p.m. now, but I used that as an opportunity to go into the garden and harvest a whole bunch of basil. The basil has been going crazy. I have it in 3 beds and it's starting to form flowers, so I like to keep on top of it, snip those off and make them little plants because it's going to grow really quickly and I'll have plenty more on the way, so I don't want it to bolt. So I harvested it and I turned it into some beautiful pesto using lemon from the land, garlic from the land, walnuts and almonds mixed. Not from the land, unfortunately, but maybe one day. Parmesan cheese, not from the land, but maybe one day I'll start making cheese. That would be amazing. And obviously the basil and something else I'm forgetting. Olive oil, also from the land. So it's always nice to make pesto. I love it. It's delicious, and it's really cool when half of the ingredients come from my place. So it's been a busy day. It's been a busy few days, actually. I didn't finish anything. I'm still working on the pointing, and I'm still working on the shelves, but I've made a good bit of progress, and I'm looking forward to continuing. So I'll say goodbye from this video. I've still got some more pointing ahead, and I can't really push forward on the shelving until I have a chance to go into town. So that's going to be soon, but not immediate. I also have lots of stuff to do in the garden, and who knows what my next things will be, but June is a really busy time, and it keeps me busy, and I do love this time of year. So as always, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please give it a like, share it around if you like what you see, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.